Hey students, I'm making another video on resumes. And the first video was about old Jason and new Jason, and he was not a Tennessee State University student. But the next two resumes I want to show you are Tennessee State University students, and they have sort of a different approach to how they've listed their education and their experience. So everybody probably knows Mariah Rhodes, Miss Tennessee State University 2020-2021. I had the privilege of having her as a student this summer, and this is her resume. She's given me permission to share her resume. We talked about the fact that she didn't list everything about her on this resume, and I know that she's working on an updated resume. So let's just take a look. It looks nice and clean. She did make it one page. And I just happened to notice that this should be bolded. At any rate, let's just start from the top and move down. Okay, so she has her full name and her location of Memphis. We don't have the exact location. We just know the general area. We have two separate email addresses that she decided to list, and her phone number. So let's talk about education. Tennessee State University listed first. Nashville, Tennessee, expected graduation May 2021. Political science major, minor in Spanish. So she and I talked about the fact that we should include what it is she's seeking, right? To an employer, a future employer, we don't know that it's actually a bachelor's of science. So that is something that we would want to include, a bachelor's of science in political science. And we would probably say in political science in Spanish. Right? Or you can even list major and minor. The good thing about resumes is you get creative freedom. That's right, there's no S. You get creative freedom. How you want your resume to look is completely up to you, right? We just don't want to fabricate any of the resume. We want to make it as clean, crisp, clear as possible, consistent. We want to make it consistent, right? If there's bullet points here, we do not want dashes here. If the heading is bolded here, we don't want it underlined here, right? The whole document needs to be clear and consistent, easy to read. Everything aligned well. Punctuation is consistent. So let's take a look. Her federal experience. Hey, she had an awesome internship with the FBI. And I know that she did a lot more than this with her internship, but it's outlined in her cover letter, right? The resume, again, is a quick glance. And we are looking at the verbs: conduct, draft, prepare, interpret, serve, issue, right? Now, the fact that we have 2019 to present, and then we have a 2018, and then we have a 2018 to present, we would probably want to flip-flop those. We want to start with the most current and move backwards. And even list the jobs that you no longer have, right? She had another internship in TSU State Court. Notice that she has 3 bullet points under each listing. That looks nice and clean, and I think that's admirable to find the top 3 things that you did at that job, the top 3 duties that you had in that position. Now, things like Greek customer, that those kind of words always kind of confuse me, right? So let's just say that you only have job experience at Kroger, as a cashier. Well, go to a Kroger cashier job listing and see what those duties are as listed online, and make sure that, you're listing some of the top duties of that particular position. Because at this point, right, we don't expect you to have, you know, 3 internships. You may have, like I said, never have held a position before, which is why you would want to highlight the courses that you've taken. Notice that she did not highlight the courses that she's taken, and that was her choice, and her creative freedom in her in her resume. But she has a lot of other things. Look at her honors and activities. I love the way that she put it into a graph, so that we didn't have any dead space over here. We don't want our resumes to have a ton of white space, a ton of dead space is what it's called in writing, where it's just, we've listed a long list on this side, but on the other side of the document, it's completely blank. And then it moves you into a second page. Let's see how we can design it to where it fits on the whole page, right? It looks really nice. And let me show you a secret to that. And this is a secret that is on Mariah's resume, is to widen the margins. So let's take a look where it says layout up at the top. Margins. This is going to change your life. It changed mine. Normal is 1-inch margins. And that is where your computer is usually automatically set, or your Microsoft Word is automatically set, is these 1-inch margins. But then it puts her on the second page, and it's just the references on the second page. And when things are 2 pages, that second page could get lost in translation somewhere. So we go back up to margins, and we hit narrow. Beautiful. I love narrow margins. That's just me, because I love to fill the page. So she has honors and activities as a heading, professional affiliations as a heading. Are any of you in Phi Alpha Delta? Listen, I was in college 20 years ago. I was in a fraternity for women, Sigma Alpha Iota, but it's been a minute. Phi Alpha Delta pre-law. TSU ROTC. I didn't know she was in ROTC. Collegiate Police Academy. So do you have any of these things that you can list? And then finally, her references. She does have 4 references, but the career field that she's going into actually would probably value 4. But she did it for consistency. She didn't want one side of it blank, and she said, hey, I really want to make another graph, so I'll just make it consistent on both sides, right? So again, it's the person's name, their title, their affiliation, right, where they work, the phone number, and the email address. And it needs to be consistent and look the same across all of your references. So that was Mariah's, and then we'll look at Trey's resume. It looks a little different from hers. It's a little bit longer. But we have a nice template here. I love the fact that Tredarius put his LinkedIn account on his resume. That's taking it next level. In a couple weeks, we will be working on our LinkedIn accounts. So you can certainly do that when we're finished. Okay, so TSU, Bachelor of Science, expected graduation date, and then he has his He's a double major, so he listed it nicely, right? Public health and ag science with a concentration in biotechnology. Hello. What is biotechnology? It sounds so smart. That's neither here nor there, though. Look at the minor and general business. So choose how you want to outline yours. Major, minor, or just list the Bachelor of Science in criminal justice, however you want to list that. Because I know some of our majors do not require a minor. So I'm okay with that. We have listed some of his major courses: general chemistry, nutrition principles, medical terminology. This really does highlight the education that he has had in public health and ag science. Calculus too. And look, here's the thing. On Tredarius's, he doesn't have his GPA. I happen to know he has a great GPA, but he doesn't have his GPA listed. He doesn't even have, I made an A in anatomy and physiology. I made an A in health record management. Those things are irrelevant when it comes time to applying to your jobs, right? Most career places do ask for your for official copy of your grades, or your transcript, I should say, but they rarely look at grades. They just want to see your transcript and did you finish, right? However, on Mariah's, she has a 4.0. Amazing. And so she listed it, but that is completely optional for you. We know that we shouldn't list anything that's below, a 3.0, but unless it's a 4.0, I really think that GPAs are not very important to list on a resume. Okay, we have certifications, leadership. So he and I talked about the fact that this needs to be flip-flopped, right? We want to put the most recent first, but a good list of leadership. Experience. Okay. He is in the military, and that's nowhere on here. And I said, Tredarius, that has to be on your resume. Oh, this isn't good, y'all. I love Chick-fil-A, but he did not spell it correctly. Look at this. I'm going to have to give him a call. That's not right either. It's not Chick-fil-A. What's happening here? You know how to spell it. Let's spell it together. Chick-fil-A. All right. We just ate there yesterday. Okay, so wow, 4 years at Chick-fil-A. So that's amazing. Answers, guess questions, takes orders, ensures, maintains. Look at those verbs. Transport, accompany, disinfect. Excellent. Look at the difference in the font. This is all capitalized, and this is not. But then we come down to this second listing, and this is not capitalized, but it is here. So it almost looks like his formatting switched. Do you see that? How June is all capitalized, but December and August is not, right? These are the things that fine tooth comb. You go through and make sure the entire document is consistent. I'm even seeing inconsistencies in space right here. See, we have a space here, but not up here. Yeah. Okay, let's see how he listed it here. Oh, and now we have, okay, that's good. So these two look consistent. Good. Assist. So let's talk about this one. Learn anatomy and physiology. The thing is that is not a duty. That is a skill or a responsibility, but it's not listed as a duty. So we would probably have to just start it with provide care and determine injuries of athletes, right? And then we would discuss the fact that we had to learn anatomy and physiology in the cover letter. So each of these bullet points should start with a verb. And each verb should be a duty that you were responsible for. Okay, moving down, it looks like the font color is inconsistent here, but that's good that, he listed the references, the organizations, and then we move down to references. Again, person's name, their title, their affiliation, their email, and their phone number, right? And I probably would have moved instead of having it stacked down, I probably would have stacked it in 3 to avoid all of this white space here, all this dead space. But that's okay. Again, you've got creative freedom. And if you currently have a resume in hand, you've got some work to do. Check this out. I just noticed another issue is that this bullet point is blue while the rest of them are black. So this color needs to change, right? Yeah, this is good. Notice this is in Cambria. This font is in Cambria, while this font down here is in Times New Roman. He's a really impressive person with a lot of experience with the military, lots of education, but the resume is something that is not necessarily representing him the best. Look at this. We have a period here. We don't need a period if there's not a period here and here and here. Plus, this isn't a complete sentence, so there's no need for a period. But just those little things that we're looking for. But I do hope that this video helped. And just let me know what questions you have.